Easy now. We're going to have a look at Indian Almond Leaves or Catappa here, which in my opinion are crucial in shrimp tanks and for many fish. And we'll look at how and why we're using them in our aquariums. So first off the bat, I'm going to go with decoration because they look pretty dope, right? With their leathery texture and strongly defined veins, they look pretty cool. Nice addition to a natural looking aquarium. And when you think about it, they'll provide a natural habitat because most freshwater bodies will have leaves floating around in them. One of the main reasons we use them though is for their properties. That includes antifungal to avoid or counteract fungal infections on fish and even eggs. If your fish are breeding, a wee bit of fungus can be a hazard, but with the antifungal properties of the Indian almond leaves, helps combat that. They also have antimicrobial, anti-parasitic and antibacterial properties, and they'll even inhibit bad bacterial growth in the intestines of fish. So you can see that they are super beneficial as both a preventative and palliative application. Some vendors even ship fish with Catappa leaves to ensure that the fish arrive healthy, and they're a big deal in the better world, almost revered as being magical in their ability to heal fish and prevent ailments. You could even say they improve health, in fact, because the leaves are providing all of these benefits so the fish doesn't have to use so much of its energy on healing and fighting off infections. The way they do that is by releasing tannins into the water that can contain all these properties. Now, it's not everybody's cup of tea because it can give the water a brown appearance, but this tank here has tannins in it from a leaf that's been dropped in, and I think it looks more natural, to be honest with you. I don't think it looks bad at all. I'll let you decide what you think. If it does bother you, you can always let your leaf soak in some water for 24 hours. That'll get some of the brown staining out, and then you can add it to your tank. They release trace elements and minerals which are good for your plants. They bind to metals and they can help lower your pH, which in turn helps to buffer your water too. So there's no denying the properties they provide are desirable, but that's not all they do. They also provide a food source as well. As they degrade, they develop a biofilm, which is basically a layer of bacteria and microorganisms that shrimp just love. Not only shrimp, but snails and crabs and some fish love it. My ottos love it, and fry love it too. So if you keep these in a fry tank, they can act as a fry's first food. They provide a natural hiding place for fish and shrimp, and they can act as a spawning ground. Some fish, like your rams, would prefer to use them rather than a flat rock, for example, and they're also reported to increase fry yield, in fact. So why these and why not other leaves? Because you could use the likes of oak and maple, right? But the answer is they last longer. Most aquarists don't want to be constantly shelling out for more leaves or going out harvesting them. Plus, if you do harvest them, there's other considerations to take into account, like have they been contaminated in some way? If they spray pesticides in the area, or if you're near a built up area or a road, you could have chemicals on your leaves which you don't really want to be adding to your tank water. They're versatile too. You can add the whole leaf if you want, or you can shred it up into little pieces. If you don't want to look at the leaf in your tank, you can place it in your sump or in your filter. And if you don't want to look at it at all, you can boil it up like I said and make a tannin water to add to the tank. If you do use it in the tank though, you just leave it until it's like a skeleton of a leaf like this, at which stage you can remove it if you want. I tend to leave them, again I think it's a wee bit more natural. And when you first add them to your tank, they're going to float for a couple of days until they're ready to sink. But you can wedge them in place somewhere, or you can pop a wee pebble on it or a rock to keep it in place if you want. And that's our Indian Almond Leaves. Like I said, I don't think you can deny the benefits to using them. I think they're essential for a shrimp tank. I think they're beneficial for a lot of fish tanks, definitely for your better tanks. I think I covered most points, but if I did miss anything, you can maybe pop it in the comments. I'm always willing to learn more. But otherwise, I'm out. Later, 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 later.